So we're going to have a discussion up here if anyone has any questions, and we're going to just basically go over everything that we went in the group scenarios. We're going to go over that on the stage and just share all the different perspectives and opinions. And then at the very end, at 8 o'clock, or actually just before 8 o'clock, I'll sort of prompt people now if anyone would like to. So obviously we're documenting this, so we're really, if there's anyone at the end who wants to give some feedback, we'd really love that. So I'm going to have a microphone and I'd love to just interview some people for some feedback. So anyone who wants to put their hand up for that, if we can get sort of half a dozen people, that would be really fantastic. It would really help us a lot. So, and then we're going to go literally just across the road to a pub there. So, all right. Okay, so the introduction, who are we and why do we exist? So it's 5:55 now, interesting. All right, so why are we here? So I want you to think about that for yourself. So why are you actually here? What brought you here? So think about that in your own mind and think about that in the context that I'm going to be sharing these next few slides. So, because we all have different reasons for being interested in cryptocurrency, but under the current conditions of the world, these are some of the things that everyday Australians are really facing, the hardships that Australians are facing. So the rising cost of living, everything is getting more expensive, but our wages aren't matching the cost of living. There's also the debt that continues to grow. So now people, even my age, are finding it difficult to buy and own a home, let alone people in their 20s, whereas probably in my parents' days, your parents' days, it was a lot simpler and easier to get a house when you're in your 20s. The mortgage rates, the debt just keeps growing. But again, the wages aren't matching it. And then we also have the dollar that keeps going down. So very simply, from 1966, this is the Australian dollar. So $1 in 1966 down to 2020. So $1 here. So $1 in 1966 was basically the purchasing power equivalent of about $13.50. So now $1 will get you, I don't know, 2 Chopper Chops. Maybe in 1966 you might get, whatever, 20 Chopper Chops. But obviously, I don't know why I thought of Chopper Chops, but anyway. So that concept is due to the financial system. That's just the way that it is. That's the way that the logic of the math works. And so Australia, it's a fantastic country. It's a beautiful country. It's one of the best countries in the world to live in. They call it the lucky country, and I really do feel blessed to live in this country. When I travel around the world, before I travelled, Australia's so boring. Then you go everywhere else and you see how good we have it here. But there's still issues and we can make it better. And that's really the thing that we want to do, because we can see a way to make things better for everybody in Australia, to set a standard for the rest of the world. That's really our aim. So in Australia, just like everywhere else in the world, so here, these are all big buildings which will be occupied, for example, by banks. Now, banks have basically been the custodians of the economic system up until this point. So all of our money is basically all interconnected through this network that we don't really know anything about. You don't know anything about how it runs. All you need to know is that you have a card, and this card just accesses this. You don't need to know anything about that. Nobody ever questions or anything about it. Now, this system is set up in a particular way with particular math and particular incentives that has led us to the current problems that we have with the inflation, the rising cost of living, and there is no solution to it. The only solution is they keep printing money. And printing money is what keeps deflating the dollars. And the dollars that keep deflating is what makes everything continue to go up in price. So it's a problem that can't actually be fixed under the current system. So really, the current system runs on math and code, but it's a little bit broken. There's something missing. Now, cryptocurrency, the blockchain, the technology of the blockchain, it basically represents a whole new infrastructure that can become a financial system with math and code. With cryptocurrency as it is now, there's really nothing that in its wholeness can be considered an economic system. It's everything that's just these disconnected parts and this building up of a system. But with things like artificial intelligence and all the new technologies that are emerging, we really have the opportunity to build things from the ground up. So we can really create an economic system from the ground up. The problem that we're facing at the moment is central bank digital currencies and digital ID. So even in Australia, for example, there's the ban on under 16s for social media. They're also trying to push digital ID in places like the UK, and even in Australia, it's coming to the forefront. And central bank digital currencies is basically what the blockchain is trying to do, but then the banking system taking that and controlling that. And it's not about whether these are evil or these are good. There is no good or bad. There is no evil and good. It's just incentive structures. And the incentive structures of that system leads to a particular outcome. So you think about something like COVID, we had some of the worst lockdowns in the world, the most harsh regulations on the planet. And now in a world where there's CBDCs and digital ID, if they tell you that you can't go beyond 5 kilometers of your house, and maybe you need to get medicine for your kid and there was nothing here, what happens? You go beyond 5 kilometers, everything gets cut off. It's all digitally monitored. These are the kinds of things that can happen. And even in the UK, people are going to prison for tweets and social media. This is unfortunately a very plausible world that really it's just about whether we allow other people to control us or whether we allow ourselves to have our own sovereignty, our own freedom. Okay, all right, so we basically want to help. We want to help build this world because we're seeing the opportunities there, but we're not seeing the will of the people coming together to actually create it. Everybody in cryptocurrency is still kind of just really looking for a Lambo or a mansion and trying to get rich. And those things happen naturally in cryptocurrency, but it can be so much more. And that's what we really see. So we want to basically bring awareness to help people understand what finance is, what cryptocurrency is. We want to give people back their freedom. So when we talk about freedom, is the 9-to-5 life the life that we want to live? I mean, the statistics are suggesting no. The younger generation definitely is not interested in these types of things. But it's not that cryptocurrency can allow us to live like that just because it'll make us rich. It's about the system and the incentives within that system that will allow a new kind of life. Simple education. So we basically want to continue to travel the country and give very simple education to help people understand. So people from 5 to 100 should be able to understand what this actually is. At the moment, the gap between people's awareness and understanding of cryptocurrency and decentralized finance it's huge. So obviously, I mean, it's all guys in here except for Kate and my mum, but it's all guys. Like it's a very 30s to 20s, 30s, 40s. So the education gap is huge, and people when they're 5 also, they should have not necessarily for them to have the awareness, but for them to be able to think of this as a safe investment or a safe place to put their money. Financial management, these are the kinds of tools we need to obviously take care of our tax. So we want to help share these kinds of tools. Expansion, so we want to continue to expand this from within Australia first, and then we want to take it global. So we want to set a precedent in Australia for how this system can actually work. And TradFi, so traditional finance, so the banking system, to the decentralized finance, so the cryptocurrency system. We want to connect the two. So we're not coming in opposition against that system because you can't beat it. There's no way. It's impossible now. It's like it's game over. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, okay, those are the rules of the game. So we're going to just stay over here, play our own game within the rules, but we're going to make a better game. And it's going to be a game that's going to eventually benefit that system. It's a symbiotic thing. And when you really understand all the moving parts of DeFi, you can see that vision in your mind. And then no conflict of interest, so no internal payments, third parties, no middlemen. I mean, even here, if you paid in AUD, then there's that $2.50 extra that you would have paid, the service fee. You multiply that by every single expense that you have in the year, like the middleman just is cleaning up. So our cost of living is more difficult. The middleman's cleaning up. Cryptocurrency, if you paid in crypto, you would have just paid you straight $30 and you would have just paid the network fee, which is like 0.1 cent or whatever network you're on. So sovereignty, you are in control of your own data. You own and control your own data. So now social medias, Google, they know everything about you. They have all your data. The government knows everything about you as well. It's not a problem, but you should have control of your own assets, your own data. You should be the one that's in control of that. You should be the one that gets to charge money on that, not people just harvesting your data and then charging for you. And again, this is all possible in the DeFi world. And then, of course, protection. So the perception around scams and frauds and hacks and all the difficulties within cryptocurrency, we want to help people understand the risks and help them protect themselves from themselves, really. Okay, so what we're not. So there's a lot of cryptocurrency education kind of things. We're not any of those. We're not selling a fake dream or hype and telling you, buy this coin and you're going to make $1 million. We're not doing any of that. We want to basically educate you in a way where you'll be able to make those decisions yourself because you'll be comfortable with the system. So we're not giving investment tips, no trading calls, trading courses, nothing like that. And well, in my opinion, most importantly, so obviously Jimmy and I started this, but we don't see it as ours. We want everybody to see it as theirs. Like we're trying to build a community. So it had to start somewhere, and really it started from Jimmy. And then I heard about Jimmy, and then it was in alignment with what I wanted to do, and then we started this together. But really, it's something that we want to consider to be ours. Okay, so in other words, we want to help to build a community founded on truth, trust, authenticity, sovereignty, freedom, and coexistence. And we believe that we can do that with a different financial system. Okay, so now we're going to do some group activities. So now we want to just hear a little bit about you. So we're going to go into the little 4 rooms. So we'll split that up in just a moment. And we'll do this for about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you want to just introduce yourself and share with us what's your reason for coming tonight. So just get to know each other. You've probably gotten to know each other already. And we're going to go into the 4 rooms. So Jimmy, myself, James, and Matt, we're going to be the team leaders. So we're going to be running this. So maybe if we can we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So 20. So just five to a room, basically. So we can break up now and go 5 to a room. So introduce yourself and share with us what's your reason for coming tonight.
Yeah, so if you're on this side of the room, please use that room and that one, and the line will just go in there. And then if you're on this side of the room, and roughly, we'll go over these 2. And that's actually, I think, one big room.
Yeah, so just get 5 in there. All right, so this 5. And then, so one of you boys go over here.
Andrew? Stefano. Stefano, how are you?
All right. Sure am. And I'm probably, I'm going to be writing some things. So I'll join you boys, but I'll stand. All right, boys, there we go. Oh, shit, this is still on. Okay, yeah, so what's your... Okay, so names, we got Dale.
Yep.
Sorry, mate. Lucius.
Lucius.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. L-U-C-I-U-S.
L-U-C-I-U-S.
Stefano.
Stefano. And then Andrew and Jeremy. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what was so we'll start with you, Dale. What was your main reason for wanting to come to this event? What was your understanding of it? What's your reason?
Well, as you probably know, I've been into crypto for a while, but I haven't looked into decentralized finance. I've just acquire and like what crypto is without using the government, but definitely need to learn more. And already from what you've said, I think I might take that even further.
Okay, so you're interested in the sovereignty concept of it as well. The whole idea of being in control of your own assets
in general.
and being disconnected from the government.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Making money. Number go up. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why we all started, right?
They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
No, exactly. Nothing wrong with it at all. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lucius?
Yeah, so I sort of got in early on in sort of 2017-ish, mainly for the money-making part. But I'm more sort of interested in how it can actually be used as like utility day-to-day. How can we sort of encourage businesses to start accepting the currency? Because, yeah, I don't know, I'd like to go down the road and pay in cryptocurrency, then you're not paying a capital gains tax if I'm selling it, if that makes sense.
You would still pay capital gains tax though when you.
Well, that's the thing. So that's what I don't understand. Is like if you're using it as a general currency.
Ah.
I think there is a limit. I can't remember what I was saying. Like some arbitrary numbers, like $900 or something like that, where you can treat it like a currency.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are things that I sort of want to learn about. Is if there are places where you can actually use it as a currency, where it's not a tax loophole, but I don't want to have to sell my
Gotcha.
currency to Australian dollars. I want to use cryptocurrency.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, so utility day-to-day spending. Oh, I've already got day-to-day. Okay, all right, anything else?
See, there's security for lending and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's good or bad, man.
Sorry, good speaking.
No problem. We got plenty of time. The more, the better. Stefano,
I don't want to make money.
you don't want to make money? Okay, we got a unicorn here.
No, making money, yeah. No, so basically I'm in crypto since 2019. I started doing crypto tutoring 2023. Yes. And yeah, like to see like what's going on like with my customer and my clients, like I'm here basically because I'm very interested. I want to know the way you want to approach, like to teach decentralized finance to the average Joe. Because yeah, like I saw in the last few years that it's not very easy, but at the same time I can see that people is very interested in privacy, and yeah, they're awakening to the idea that actually they would like to they like the self-custody idea. But yeah, like there is always these two words that clash. Like, you know, they want to learn, but at the same time, it's hard to teach them properly. And
I totally get that.
Yeah, and especially for all the scams they go around because yeah, it's been brutal.
Yeah.
In the last year, I think I had like clients that lost like at least $1 million if I put them all together on scams.
How many clients have you got?
Like, no, but this was just probably like 10 clients. Like the big money.
That's a lot though.
One was like 3 weeks ago. The wallet got drained because he provided passwords. Even I told him don't give the password to anyone, but they call him. Hey, we're a treasure. Someone is trying to get into your wallet. Give us the password. So they create the sense of panic. And you know, 30 seconds, he decides to give the password. That's it. So, yeah.
That's gutting. That's horrible.
That's crazy. And I was thinking, you know, this is just like about 10 people, but think about all over Australia, all over the world. Like it's billions and billions of dollars. Just
and it seems like it's been around for what 2009, over 10. What is that? Nearly 20 years almost. But it still seems like it's in its infancy with these types of issues, and I mean the usability.
Yeah, it still happens in traditional finance as well. I mean,
it does.
Scams.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
They were using other, you know, because
it almost doesn't get highlighted enough, that perspective.
So a lot of them, what they were doing is getting to go down and buy,
Gift cards, was it?
gift cards.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Or the cold wallets. I'm getting calls once a month from whatever that brand is.
TREASURY, Ledger.
Ledger. Yeah. And I bought one and I've never used it, so I know they're full of shit.
Oh, so you said you don't use one?
No. I bought a Ledger and
you brought a Ledger?
bought one years ago, and then someone said something. I heard, like you're saying here, all these different things. That's how you learn. Don't use those particular wallets because some XRP didn't work on it. Once you put it on, something happened. So I just.
I think the latest ledgers were the ones with the issues where they were fragmenting the keys out centrally. What the old ledger.
Just 5 more minutes, team leaders. 5 more minutes.
Treasures are generally.
Well, I'm a coin spot now, and they have to ring to get the money out.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's a nightmare all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
It
if
is.
anyone tries to take
yeah.
money, they call and say, "Do
Yeah,
it."
yeah. Yeah, it's a pain. And even the bank, even the bank blocking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
had a few of those.
Yeah, any more than 10 grand because of scams. But yeah. Andrew,
With
Lambo?
not much, yeah, sure, two please. No expectations, just wanting to come here to hear what others have to say. Been in since 2017.
So you want to get a feel for what the community's vibe is?
Over the years, I found it quite difficult with light mentoring as well. I found that to be like a sticking point. There's so many topics and there's so much to unpack. And then if you're covering a certain topic and you want to share resources, like, okay, I want to share like some videos, right? We don't currently have like a centralized hub of well-curated videos that we can go to, that we can all go to, like standardized them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's onto our wallets. It's like scouring the net for like 100 different videos and then, who am I going to show? What video am I going to show the person I'm trying to share with?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's
just to basically educate them and bring them up to speed.
And I don't think, like, even in the blockchain community, I don't think there's consensus on what the best wallet video is.
Censored in anything.
That's because it's behemoth where there's so many options. Yeah.
So like an onboarding flow.
Standardized
Onboarding blueprint.
that is very
Oh,
simple.
I've basically got that.
We got like,
Yeah. I've literally done on workflow. Happy to share all that sort of
there's like video links and
Yeah, it's a paid thing on my side, but I don't care if people have it, to be honest. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Eventually we want to put all this sort of stuff on our own websites where it's just a good, safe, trustable place. Because I don't know if you guys heard about the guy who got scammed with the AI the other day, the ChatGPT. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, he typed something in ChatGPT. You know Brandon B, the one who's always.
Oh, right,
Yeah. And he typed something in ChatGPT for one of the Pulsechain websites, and he clicked on it, and it was a scam website, and he got drained on ChatGPT. Yeah, that's so bad.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as most, but yeah, like
Yeah, well, I mean, you shouldn't do that.
No.
At least put in your prompt, don't get scammed.
yeah.
All right, Jeremy,
Oh, you're gonna need a bigger board, man.
gonna need a bigger board.
Yeah. No, the reason I came here tonight really was to support you guys.
Appreciate
was my
that.
main reason for coming down. But I guess what I've seen transpire over the last few years is I never wanted to be or get political. I was happy in my own world doing the DeFi thing and educating people, but I feel we're losing ground and and the only thing stopping the technology being usable in its current form is awareness. If I'm assuming you guys are all familiar with choke point.
Operation Choke Point.
Yeah. So
Is there another trick, like another one? They have like two.
yeah,
It's like another one.
so choke point originally was the US government trying to stop firearms and gambling sites from being able to get money flows into them, so they block it at the banking level. And effectively, they've done that to crypto. Well, that's what they were doing. Is that their policy was to the banks: if you're going to help people on board the crypto, then we're going to look after it. So they sort of shadow betting in a way.
Yeah.
And I think that so everyone's concerned about that choke point between your bank account, your traditional bank account, and the crypto world. And whatever you earn in crypto, well then, okay, how do you get it out to do things in the real world? And the only limitation we have is we are relying on that choke point. And the only reason we're relying on that choke point is there is not enough wallets on people's phones. So if everyone's got a wallet, then you don't need the choke point because you can operate as currency if everyone's got that ability to transact in it. So that's what I'd like to see come out of all of this is an awareness where you just get more wallets in people's hands And then you can actually start using it as a unit account for day-to-day transactions.
Just on that point on self-custody wallets, do you have, what, in your opinion, what's your gauge on how hard it is for a new person to get familiar with a self-custody wallet if you had to rate it out of 100?
I guess you've got levels. If you're going to use it as your bank account, then the onboarding process there's a lot of friction. But if you want $30 in your phone, not so much. So yeah, to teach people how to do it right, there is a lot of friction.
Like, yeah, I think it's easier. I think based on my experience, it's not that difficult to teach them how to move money, for example, from CoinSpot to a cold wallet, because once they get the flow, it's quite easy once everything is set up. But to get them to use a hot wallet connecting to a decentralized application, that's a completely different story. Then you go from, like very high.
And so I think you've got to do it in phases. In a wallet that people can just have a currency on it that they can then transfer value. If you can do that, that's 90% of the battle. If you can get people to that point and get them comfortable with it, then they'll start to understand it a little bit more. If you start using DeFi lending and other more.
Even the concept of self-custody is a bit hard to wrap your mind around for new people when they're, because you say that and then they think, oh, but money in my bank that's my self-custody.
There's a big issue with the perception.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's.
Well, let's make our way back out there, boys, because we're probably going to cover more of this in the next group activity. But
I think you're just studying more of it.
All right, team leaders, let's make our way back out.
Yeah, that's true. Places to receive it as well.
Hey, some comments on the live. Just go gather up.
No, it's in their native cryptocurrency, Crow, but that can be converted straight into Bitcoin instantly.
All right. We'll head back in. There was a lot in here, so maybe in the next group, a few of you just go over to some of those other rooms. It's good that you whipped out the card, though. I forgot about whipping out the card for that. So, alrighty. So thank you for sharing everything. It seemed like, everyone was really engaged in my room. I'm sure, hopefully you guys were taking some notes and some pictures and recording the information, and we'll discuss some of that at the very end to just see what the consensus and everything is. So, Mum, you don't have to worry about that. Mum's always being mums. Thanks, Mum. All right, so our vision for a community. So our mission is to make Australia the greatest, bestest ever. So in all seriousness, our vision is to make Australia a global leader in DeFi. So DeFi is decentralized finance, which is you got centralized finance, which is the banking system. Then you got decentralized finance, which is basically a distributed network where it's all of us contributing to that network. And that's what DeFi is. So make Australia a global leader in crypto, DeFi education, safety, and adoption. Okay, so now our vision. So we're going to have growth strategies, different ways of growing our membership base. So different tiers of membership, so free memberships, and then goals for different kinds of memberships, so 30 members a month and 300 a year, these types of things. Different kinds of revenue streams. So we're a non-profit organisation. We want to be charitable. We want to be a charity status as well, but there still needs to be a revenue stream to keep things going. But we want to exemplify what a true charity is. So not just, oh, we got this charity and we're just kind of using it so we can buy Lambos for ourselves and we're going to claim it on tax. Like, not like this. We're actually going to do everything properly and we're going to exemplify that in our actions. And so different types of courses for different types of levels of understanding, paid courses, and then infrastructure and business revenue. Actually, a lot of the things that we were discussing in there is using crypto in the real world, and we want to start setting these things up as a community. So creating the economy. And it might seem like this grand thing, but it's really not. It's not that big. You just start with one business. You start with one business and you scale over time and you create a network infrastructure. Nobody's doing that. So that's what we want to try to contribute to. And it's not that nobody's doing it. I'm sure it's happening around the world, but we want to really take it to the next level, you could say. So community promotion. So obviously these types of events, we're also thinking of going out into like markets. Market culture in Australia is very big, going out to markets, having stalls there where people can come up to us and, you know, we'd have our little love heart balloons and kangaroos and just making everything easy and friendly. We should have had our love heart balloons with us. We had them in Brisbane, but just very friendly, approachable to really, again, simplify what this is, not making it this technical, difficult thing to understand and I don't understand it. Is it a scam? Is it real money? I don't know. We want to make it like approachable and friendly and easy, which is the way it should be. Just like when you were a kid and you learnt about Commonwealth Bank in primary school. Who here learnt about Commonwealth School? Yeah, we all did. Why? Maybe that was a government organisation, it was public, but just like that, you learnt about CommBank, and now you don't want to keep your money in CommBank, so we love you, CommBank. All right, community gifts. They still do it in school. You're joking, even though they're private. Wow, well, that's the level that we want to get to. We want to be able to go to schools and be like, well, here's a better way of doing things that's more beneficial for the children with better yield, and this is their savings account. So community gifts, so giveaways at these little stalls, tangible items, showing them things like seed phrases, which is your private key, having them really engage with what cryptocurrency is in a very tangible kind of a way. And then helping others. That's really, we're a community, so Australian DeFi community. We want to be like a helpline. So we've got a Telegram group at the moment, and we're going to continue to expand this out. And we really want to be a place that people can trust, that they can go to when they have difficulty. If something's happened to them, they can come to us, and there'll be basically an infrastructure of people that are ready to help. So how does this actually look? So what this looks like is, okay, so here's Australia, one of the greatest countries on the planet. Then you just set up a first business. So for example, Brisbane. So you could set up a first business in Brisbane. What could that look like? Maybe it ends up being something like this, where we actually, I mean, this is something that it doesn't take much. It could take a handful of people who say, we're going to buy this little business, we're going to have a little cafe, we're going to have a gathering space like this where we can have these regular meetings. People can come, transact in cryptocurrency in Australian dollars, and that starts the network. And then you just scale it up with time and energy. So we continue to get people who are interested in the idea, and you just broaden it across the country. So you could, for example, then set a node up in Perth. But where my mind goes with all of this is, you know, what does this actually look like? My mind is very creative and visionary. So I think of something like this and I see like a map there even. Why couldn't this be a future where in the world of robots and AI, people are so concerned about their jobs, but maybe this is exactly what we need, because maybe we're not supposed to be working 9 to 5 in the next 10 years. So what's it going to look like? Maybe this network is a network of buildings that are connected across Australia where you can travel and you're basically living in your van, living that Australian life, and you're able to just go from node to node and you're able to spend at each place with cryptocurrency. You could set up a node along the way. Like it's not all that difficult to conceive if you really understand all the moving parts. And the main moving parts are the blockchain itself, which is decentralized finance. Then the AI. This is the key now, AI. So obviously now with the current system, there was no AI. Everything was just built up slowly over time, and it's been sort of skewed in a particular direction. But with AI, the intelligence of AI and human wisdom connected, co-creating, it's very easy to be able to create a system from the start and build it up from the ground. And this eventually leads to the interconnection of all of this, which is the metaverse. And so all you need to do is found this on the right kinds of principles, which can all be learnt off the current principles. And it's just very plausible. And then again, metaverse, which is the next iteration of the internet. And this whole thing here, you could be interacting across all of Australia in the metaverse. I went really crazy with this, but expand the network over time, build the infrastructure, agriculture, businesses. What would that look like? It only just starts from one small part, and then it continues to grow. And then what does this actually do? Well, this is generating yield, income. And then this income is what's actually going towards a reliable kind of a yield. And this is where, at the moment, cryptocurrency is very volatile. It's in its infancy stage. There is no economy set up. Everything's just existing as like an individual token. And basically, you put your money in there, it goes up, and then you hope you pull your money out before everybody else does. That's what crypto is. It's like a potluck or something. It's like in its current form, it's very linear. It's not actually an interconnected network or system. But if you create something like this and it becomes stabilized and it's being monitored by artificial intelligence, it can create a yield that matches the kind of yield that we would have had in our childhood of like 5 or 6%. And then this is where it becomes attractive, because you would have stable assets that don't fluctuate. So you would have things that aren't going up and down, because there'll be things that are connected to the Australian dollar, and it's generating a yield from the economy. So it's basically what the economies are doing now, but it's being done in a more structured way. The political will in Australia is very it's very, I don't know how to say this without being offensive, but it seems the political will is very lacking, and it's the incentives behind that. You can see where the parties are getting their voices from the political donors. And so it skews, it doesn't become something that's for the people, it becomes something that is for the donors. Something like this, from the very start, can be programmed to be for the people, and it can be embedded into the logic of the system from the very ground up. And that's where you get your yield from. And it might seem, again, like a lot, but you'd just be using it in the same way that you use your current banking system. You would have your phone, you would have an app, you would have your card. So Jimmy was showing everybody a card in there. Like, these things already exist, but it's all just disconnected. You would have a card and it's very simple. You wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't even know that you're using cryptocurrency. That's where it's going with decentralized finance. So that's where we're trying to get to. All right. So in other words, this is a business. It's a non-profit organization, but it's a business that has to operate. And so it's going to be a closed loop, self-sufficient business. And so now we're going to do the same. So we're going to, again, break out into the rooms, and maybe some of the people at the back there, just a few of you go over there so we can just get 5 in each room with the team leaders. And then the group activity now is, so we've shared our vision and we started to do this in ours, but we'd love to now hear about your needs and what you'd like to understand about cryptocurrency, what you're interested by, and how you think you could help if you want to. So obviously this is a community. So when we did this in Brisbane, when we did this in Adelaide, we also went out asking people who wants to contribute. So James, for example, wants to contribute. So if you have something like some skills, you're like, you know what, I like this idea and I can do IT, I'd love to be able to contribute in that manner. So we're basically trying to understand who has what skills and who wants to contribute what. So the 3 things: what are your needs? What are you interested by? And how could you help if you wanted to? Okay, we'll do that for probably 20, 30 minutes. So we'll go back into the little breakout rooms. Oh, thanks, mate.
Something that I think hasn't come through that strong is this just a place where people that think about crypto are coming together to talk about crypto? Or is it, this is Australian DeFi community the start of it, and we're trying to explain to you what it is and want you to be part of it.
Mm. It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. It should facilitate that type of atmosphere of gathering and community, but also to then provide a platform for people to contribute if they want to.
I'll
Yeah.
cover that off when I'm in here. I'm going to
Okay.
do a litmus test. So is this what
Okay.
you thought it would be?
And then we'll cover that in the AMA as well.
They basically said, well, I didn't have police reports on, I didn't know that they would get police reports, it wasn't money with crypto.com. They were the only one that asked for police reports and everything. And they just ended up saying they would rather close my account than EtherFi, look at that one.
Yeah, I don't take the card with me, but.
No, I never had one. Honestly.
Because I had that one for a long time, but only in the last 2 or 3 months, I set up Cypher and EtherFi. And EtherFi took me a month to get set up because it was a business phone.
So that's you?
Yeah.
You recommend
Oh, no,
Cypher?
EtherFi.
You recommend Cypher?
It's a little bit Mickey Mouse, but it's, it works, but it's, yeah, if you ever need support. Not going to go look at that. Yeah, you know, don't get it. EtherFi, their support has been awesome. Although it took a long time to set up, they were actually really responsive.
All right, fellas, we'll go around again. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Questions?
I don't know how much I have to contribute at this one.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of almost covered it a lot in our previous, what your reasons were for coming here. So for the needs, we also really kind of covered the interests.
So I kind of had a vision of us all, you know, having some sort of way of connecting, Telegram or whatever, because questions may come afterwards. And if you're comfortable with everyone that you've spoken to, it's nice to be able to drop your shit on them for a bit and say, get a varying degree of answers.
Okay.
So the community bit, I like it. Nice to have regular meetings, and some people might not share unless they're really comfortable. Get to a certain point.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, one thing that I've learned tonight is I didn't know that crypto debit cards existed.
Debit?
Did you just say debit card?
Oh, yeah, that's debit, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, wouldn't mind learning about that just to get in a little bit deeper.
I mean, I feel like I'm dirty every time I use it.
Yeah. I suppose it's a...
But what other way is there to access it though? On a
But that's
Yeah.
gift cards.
But that's the same, though.
We keep going back to centralization instead of getting accounts in people's hands so you can actually pay for it. And I know you can't go from no one using crypto to everyone using it instantly, so you've got to have that transition.
Sorry, don't get finish your sentence.
No, that's exactly right. But
So can I just ask you, what's your how do you envision that? So if you're saying the card is no good, how do you envision that process of exchanging value?
So the only way it would work has to be token agnostic. So it doesn't matter what you've got in your wallet.
I agree.
I've got Ethereum and you only want Bitcoin or a stable coin, then there needs to be that interchange where you just get the dollar value that you're after.
Sort of like BitPay, but different to BitPay.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they work, and I think every time I've tried to use it, they've asked for emails and all that, and I'm like, I'm not even sure.
So, I mean, no matter what you're holding, it needs to converge to the same root.
So you need like that
Right.
abstract layer.
So all we are interested in doing is a transfer of value. If you provide a service worth $100, you just want $100 worth of value at that point in time, and it doesn't matter what you might have a particular want of what you would like to receive it in. So that whatever we do, that friction needs to be done without using Visa's rails or a bank's rails, using crypto rails. And the instant swap or transfer from one token to another, I don't think that's actually hard. We do that every day on DEXs and cross-chain stuff. It's getting a lot more prevalent now.
So if a coffee shop accepts Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum, and you had, probably different networks, Solana, and you press pay, it automatically transfers to the cheapest, I guess it would pick, of those three currencies that are accepted at that place.
So that was the whole premise behind XRP originally. It was the medium in between where you could connect it. It could be gold, dollars, pesos, and when you wanted to route through it, XRP would be that medium that it switched to and then spat out the other channel. And I think we've moved beyond that. We don't need to do that. That was a very clunky way of doing it. I think now we've got the ability to do that, but until you've got wallets in people's hands.
So when you said that it felt dirty using the cards, is it because of this, because of the centralized rails, or just the actual card itself?
Well, the only way you get one of those cards, unless it's a prepaid card, the only way you get one is you're back in the old system where you
KYC. Okay, so that's why it's dirty. So no KYC cards. Okay, so it's not.
We're here because we don't want to ask permission to
Correct.
move value around.
Correct. Okay, I thought it was just the concept of a card itself as the exchange of value is like something that you didn't like, but it's the.
underlying.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
That's why I prefer gift cards, because they probably have your email
Okay.
and your name, but you still don't need to go through all the process and provide documents and IDs and stuff. So.
Got you. Okay.
But obviously it's limited. It's not like better.
But it's still not the ideal solution.
No.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of they've got their hooks into that system for obvious reasons. They don't want to. They see it as an anti-money laundering thing, or that's the headline excuse. Is they see that as an anti-money laundering thing. So.
Yeah.
Which I never understood, considering it's all on the blockchain.
Yeah. And, I think that's one of the big things about it is getting it to that point of, because under the current systems, to get a card, you need KYC, but to connect that with the blockchain, it's almost like you don't need that, but it's enforced because of the control structures.
Control it because every transaction they want to have it as a taxable event.
That's basically what it boils down to. There's nothing to do with the money laundering. It's taxation.
Tax.
It's flight of capital and taxation. If you're wealthy and you're in a country, they want you to keep your wealth in that country. And if you can move it cross border easily, they're not happy with that. So it's capital controls and tax.
Okay, so just whatever comes to your mind. Lucius, so you mentioned you didn't know about the debit cards, the crypto cards, which is good. Anything else that you've heard or from your previous crypto experience where you're like, I'd really like to learn more of this, or I'm really interested in that?
I don't know if you guys heard a few years back, there was a thing called Living Room of Satoshi.
That's still random.
So I wasn't sure. I was telling Dale about it before. I don't know how true it is, but whether someone can debunk it or not. But I heard that you were able to pay off your debts in a without creating a capital gains tax event.
I know a lot of people used to use it for BPay and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
What is it? Living Room Satoshi? I've never.
It was a sort of website that you could go to, semi-reputable. I never actually used it. I've just heard a lot of people talk about it in the past. But if you had credit card debts online and you needed to pay them off, you could use your cryptocurrency to convert that to pay off your debt.
Okay.
So instead of actually transferring it through an exchange, you could go through.
Okay, gotcha.
this medium to do it.
Okay. See, it's like all the things are there, all the parts are there, the technology's there, but it's just not all brought together in a whole system. It's all just disconnected. And I wonder why that is. Is that just because of regulations and fear and
It's because we have to jump back into the real world.
we have to them
We've
again?
got to go back into the financial rails that exist. That's the way you pay for your rates and your water and all that.
Yeah.
That is going to be the last mile. That is going to be the hardest thing to crack. What we can control is if I'm a business, what do I accept? So that's got to be done from a private point of view first.
Incentives.
Well, you can't influence what state governments do, what local governments do. Like that is the hardest nut to crack. But you can sit down with a guy at a coffee shop and say, mate, how about you accept crypto? And you make that choice. Now, if he wants to get that back into the real world, that's where we still have issues because he's got to pay his suppliers. So you basically need everyone to be crypto native.
Yeah.
For it to work.
So pretty much like little business.
See, I
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The little business, they need to actually have incentives, like big incentives to jump into crypto and to adopt crypto.
One of the biggest ones is cost of. So when you go buy something at a shop, they are paying usually 2% for you to tap a card.
Mm-hmm.
So they're wearing that, and that's probably the biggest advantage to them accepting crypto in some form. It's they get around that. As long as
See, I can see a reality where businesses accepting, and then the simplicity of just interconnecting it. They don't need to have other businesses that are also on crypto. I feel like that wouldn't be, because you said you think it would have to be, everybody would have to be on crypto.
for Utopia, yeah. Yeah.
In the future, yeah, decentralized finance would just be like the background infrastructure.
Yeah.
But I feel like to build it up, you could easily do some hop steps with basically just us as a crypto business, but you've got suppliers that only accept AUD. Like it would just be, there might be some internal software that you would have, and you'd easily be able to just still integrate into crypto, but still into the old system. And then over time, it would just, you basically, everything from this side is going to eventually move to this side over time.
We're getting closer than we've ever been to that being easy to do. Wallets on phones now, they're not difficult.
No.
So we're getting closer. Like when I first got in, people like there was heaps of projects that tried to do it. I'm trying to think of their name. There was a few of them back in the day that tried to get you a point of sale. They could accept crypto. They sort of died off in the end. And
There was sometimes stickers, Bitcoin accepted here or whatever.
Yeah, it's just funny. Australia's really behind.
Yeah.
I was in bloody this. It's called Var in Croatia, tiny little island. Bitcoin accepted here. There's throughout Europe, I've noticed a lot more.
Especially East Europe.
Yeah.
They're way ahead.
Even in Vietnam, I was seeing that.
Wow.
We are way behind, and I think it's because our dollar's pretty stable. Our infrastructure's pretty good from a communications point of view.
And then what about them and all them, like,
So it's,
you would think they're having a big say on that too, in the slowness of this, because they're such a dominating force in our economy.
yeah.
I mean, they're a dominating force in every economy, but
Sorry.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people, a lot of retail don't see the need. If I ask someone like non-crypto,
exactly. That's yeah.
they would be, they're like, oh, why do we we need that?
Yeah.
You know, why do we need self-custody? Why? What's the point of doing like a non-KYC
It's a long
payment?
It's a long conversation, isn't
It's
it?
a big conversation to unpack. You know, it's like, oh, okay, here's all the history.
But that's why it's important to start from where you, Steve, start before, explaining that we're actually, the currency is debasing, your purchasing power is, lower years after year, because a lot of people that don't even realize
I
about it.
think it's getting through, and I think that even things like X and stuff, love it or hate it, at least it cuts through the filtered reality you get from your mainstream media. Honestly, one of the best things I think you can do for people, and I'll start having a chat with someone, and I'll go, did you know about the disinformation bill or something like that? I don't know, what's that? And you go, okay, just do me a favour, just get an account on X. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of shit that you have to wade through, but just do it and see what happens. And you can actually see over time, even with my wife, who was never on it, from her getting on X, apart from the shit that I post that she sees now, from her getting on X a couple of months ago, the change in her outlook on reality was huge.
Wow.
Just having an awareness of what's going on in the world.
There is just a small caveat on X, just because it's happened really recently.
I just warn you of hate speech right now.
Yeah.
Based on
I know I could get in trouble with the elbow jokes.
based on shadow banning
Yeah.
certain topics and certain sentiments,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
But I think you don't even have to go down that path too much. Is it? If you can just get them and say, just get an account. It's the number one news app in the world. Just get it and see why. At least that starts knocking down a few barriers. You can have
One of the ways,
a conversation later.
like with this one, Andrew, I think we all face that in everywhere that we go with people in crypto, and I face that also in every aspect of my life. But it's almost like I don't even want to focus on this. The way that I see this happening is, if it's all going to eventually move over to here, right now we're going to be a tiny little island, and we're just trying to find all the people who want to come to our little island and play in our little island, which is much, much better than this one over here. And eventually, when this one reaches a point where it can't recover from, then they're going to flood over to our island. So we're basically building the island, getting it ready. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to plant the seeds in start laying the infrastructure. We're the pioneers. We're trying to be the pioneers. But I don't see it being like, oh, this is so much better over here. Come over here, and people are going to just all come over suddenly. Like, there's going to have to be some sort of problem that forces people over in a way.
the inflation one, sorry. Once the inflation gets bad enough.
Exactly.
Or success on the other side. If we all become billionaires in a couple of years,
Well, exactly.
they do that.
Exactly. What does a life like this look like? Like, everyone's scared of AI and robots. Imagine a community that has a non-profit charity, but we have a treasury. So we're building that infrastructure. We're building robotics factories. We're building agriculture. Like, in my mind, it's just like, yeah, that's possible. I don't see it as like something that's, this grand thing, and I have to be like Elon Musk. It's like, no, we got the talent. I don't see why we couldn't do that.
I think what you're seeing and what changed the course of the US elections recently was the effect of wealthy people so people that got wealthy from crypto now having political influence.
Like Coinbase and yeah.
What, I hope you all get pretty wealthy.
At the moment, we're broke.
I do think that the first level of adoption, unfortunately, is probably going to be through the banking system. So banks adopting infrastructure.
That's exactly what I was. My biggest fear at the moment is a corruption of our little spiky bit that we've built over there, our little island. They're going to come and lay over the top of it with
A new Federal Reserve.
well, they're going to put their wrappers around the DeFi.
I think it's going to be like a dance. It's going to be a dance with that system. It's not going to be a fight. It's just going to be like outmaneuvering. And this is the laws. And hey, we're following the laws. And I think the behemoth's going to come. But I don't know. Maybe because I'm like a spiritual guy or a guy of faith. Like, this is finished. It's finished. Like this is it. This is the solution. This is the solution. If the planet's going to continue to prosper, that's the solution. And so all we have to do is just put our attention on there, and it's going to happen eventually.
Just early.
Yeah.
It's going to be a dance, not a fight, a dance.
But you know that apparently there's a CBDC that's in trial right now in Australia. And so at some point they go, okay, we found a way to control it. We will not accept Bitcoin or anything else. It has to be the Australian CBDC. So now you just have to transfer your whatever you've got over to their shit and use it to purchase. They'll make it so that you can't do these things anyway.
And their
It's
businesses
very
pay
hard.
that.
They can't do that. That's the problem with Bitcoin is they can tell you that they want you to spend their money in for governments and stuff won't accept that. But if me and you want to trade in bloody shells, we
Right.
can trade in shells.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Unless the government changed the rules.
Exactly. That's such a great point. There just has to be an agreement. That's the thing about an economy. Like you can't stop that. If we just go, you know what, I'm going to just very rudimentary. What do we need? We need food. We need water. So we got a little economy of like, okay, here's our little water production facility. Here's our food farm. And then this is where we live. And then we're just trading amongst ourselves. We don't need any of the outside influence. The economy is running internally. So there's going to be, in my opinion, so many, the solution will present itself at the time. Like if we just keep moving forward.
Early adopters will benefit more.
Exactly. But the way that I see this as well, the early adopters, they'll benefit the most. But if this world is truly to succeed, the benefit becomes equalized. There's not going to be like a gap between the 1% and the 99%.
Otherwise, we fall back in the same.
Exactly. So we're going to be like the most blessed because we're building it and we're going to be rich, but it's lifting everyone into that world till eventually the concept of being rich is just irrelevant. There's no such thing. It's just abundance. That's what I see anyway. Yeah.
The same thing's happening with like speech. So, they could censor you because they could censor everyone, but there will be like applications where we can still talk to one another. So even like there's Zero Chat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
There'll be platforms where you can get you can circumvent the strongholds.
Yeah.
they're basically forcing that to happen.
They are forcing it to happen.
Exactly. Because they got their fingers in everybody's ears.
They're trying to shut everything down, and everyone will revolt, and they'll be one step ahead again. So, yeah, same thing. They can't stop us trading in shells, and they can't stop me and you having a conversation about whatever the F we want.
Yeah.
Do you
And
guys
then-
remember, do you
Go
guys
ahead.
remember like when torrenting first came out, like sharing music and movies? And they tried to step press it and shut it down, and there's all these threats like $250,000 fine if you piracy of movies, and everyone still did it. And
What?
it is like unstoppable. So.
Yeah,
It's actually making it come back.
and just because it's too expensive for them to go after people, so.
Well, you can't you do it on mass, and they can't.
Yeah.
It's like the whole prohibition thing. You can tell everyone to stop doing it. Just do what they want to do.
Just made it more valuable.
Yeah.
Made the booze 20x booze.
Yeah, I was listening to something on the radio this morning on AM, cigarettes, tobacco,
There's a whole economy around.
Yeah.
Secular economy.
like illegal tobacco. And it's like 5 times cheaper or something. That you wouldn't know anything about this, of course, Dale.
I can tell you, I quit smoking years ago.
Oh, did you?
At $60 a packet or whatever. Vape at the moment, but now I travel around and it's $15 a pack of cigarettes in any tobacco shop in Australia.
Selling these.
$15 for the Manchester or Double Jeopardy Chinese ones.
Yeah, wow.
Anywhere in Australia, anytime.
Yeah, because they've taken out all the tax. So people are revolting. You have the problem and people go, F that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We give all our power away. And even this idea of political influence, like maybe none of us are politicians, but it just doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. It's just it could be a person who becomes interested. So I was looking at Senator Bragg. He was the Liberal MP, Liberal senator who did the first crypto inquiry. And he was like, Australia's primed for a change. Like we're so backward. He was the one that was looking at everything. He's like, we're primed. We need a change. And this is the Liberal senator. So the consciousness is there, but unless the people are asking for it, but if you start making the moves and if you start building something and you can, I mean, you got Rennick. I've only just started, but I've been listening to a lot of his content. He is, because he doesn't understand it.
Yeah. Like I listen to him and I go, yep, he's someone you can get behind, and then he's just got that one little
But
blind
he's a
spot.
very smart man.
Yeah.
So it's just people presenting, because I was in a thread and someone's just like, oh, Bitcoin's going to be the solution. Everybody's just going to buy Bitcoin and it's just going to go up. I'm like, how's that a solution? You basically converted the Ponzi from real estate now to just Bitcoin. I don't understand the solution there. There is none. Basically, this just keeps going up forever. It sucks up all the liquidity. Then what? And that's what Jared Rennick sees. So he's right. He's correct. There's no solution here. It's just the same crap in a different way. But if he sees something where it's like, oh, it's actually a tangible economy, and he's so brilliant with his ideas about printing money. He's like, you print money and you create infrastructure that generates yield. I'm like, that's so effing brilliant. Like, why haven't we been doing that this whole time? That's been my position with printing money. I'm like, well, if we're going to print money, let's print it and actually spend it on good stuff that's going to make us money.
They're just very bad at, they misallocate.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
You know, 90% of the shit could be solved if they had full transparency and accountability for where every dollar
Yes.
went. But that's what we don't see. So,
Like a
Yeah. And that's the solution that the blockchain provides, doesn't it?
It's the latest one.
And who knows, maybe AI, as much as they want to use it against us for tracking and tracing, maybe that's something you can spin against.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All these forces can go to the dark way or the light way, all of them.
Just a point on the Bitcoin,
Mm.
just made me think of something because they are trying to like push Bitcoin, but if any of you haven't like seen or heard of the book like Hijacking Bitcoin and how Bitcoin's more or less being caught, so it's more or less how the government's plaything these days, and that serves us in a good way, in a roundabout way. So the more they kind of corrupt one corner of the space, it kind of pushes everyone towards, people go to looking into Ethereum, and then as Ethereum there is a little bit of corruption in Ethereum, it's pushing people towards the next ecosystem, which is Pulsechain. And then, but it's just like the natural. This is kind of like an organic flow of things.
Selection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's organic selection. So.
A leader that's okay with it means things are filtered down. You might get funding to grow this group if we just had someone at the top.
Yeah,
Say,
exactly.
It is the future.
Exactly.
Look at the SEC in the US.
Exactly.
They don't kick
Yeah.
Gensler out in the gates.
Exactly.
Even
Yeah.
if there's slight corruption. Did you see
But
Trump's son's water-cooled warehouse?
with the Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's the biggest Western one, I think. Yeah.
But people are pissy because it's using enough water to.
But the water gets recycled. People don't understand that. Even with AI, people say, oh, the water, but it literally gets recycled. Yeah, I mean, America's opening their doors up to it, but they're doing it from this perspective. They're doing it from the institutional and the old system way.
Yeah.
And so that's why, again, I just feel like Australia is very important in this. We're very lagged behind, but we can almost come from the shadows and create something that we can set as a precedence for the world of like how to actually do it, how to do it in a way where everybody's happy. And I don't know what that looks like. Go on.
With all the points that the others put on the board, how it relates to like businesses and how to transact. If we had like the perfect wallet, so at the moment there isn't like a decent crypto wallet, like in my opinion. So you go like Rabby, but that doesn't work. MetaMask doesn't work. OKX wallet, apparently people say good things about it, but kind of, I don't know, it feels, because it's, associated with an exchange, doesn't feel as trustworthy.
Yeah.
So we're still yet to have a real real deal wallet, crypto wallet. Without that, it fundamentally makes everything a lot harder. You know, I mean, internet money's great as well, but still, you know, there's no wallet that ticks all of the boxes.
Yeah.
It gives you the anonymity, and gives you the experience of it.
Yeah.
It's like we need.
That's why you end up with like 10 different extensions.
Yeah.
We need like a solid wallet basically
Yes.
to help businesses.
Can anyone else think of any needs or interests related to what we're trying to do here? We've sort of gone around for you gents, you guys, you've sort of...
I think what you mentioned in the last session was the onboarding.
Ah, yes.
I mean, when I got into it, it was a bit funky at first. I don't know if it's, now that I'm in the environment, I'm sort of trying to onboard again with other things, but I don't know if it's an easier process these days.
It's still just as clunky.
Yeah. So when we first got involved, I don't know what it was like for you guys, but it was Ethereum. And once you figured out that you couldn't even buy swap tokens on the chain. So it was very simple. You had Ethereum wallet, and if you wanted a token, you had to go to the exchange and sync it up.
Just about. Oh,
That was pretty.
hey Kate, do you know anything about these microphones? This one looks like it's just died. Would there be any like...
There's more in here. Don't know heaps about it. There's a drawer that has more.
Because that one just stopped working. Oh yeah, there's a power button.
It's weird because I don't even know how to.
Cool. Thank you.
And money up for money and borrow it so you don't pay taxes and things like that. I think
So another 5 to 10 minutes.
the low-hanging fruit is just get them with a wallet with some currency in it and show that, hey, you can download a wallet and have an address, a bank account in 5 minutes. And I can send you some money straight away and you can see, okay, well, that was pretty easy. You don't have to go line up at a bank or make an appointment to try and get into a bank these days. Like, you can instantly have an account and we can transfer value between each other. You've got to bite it off in really easy.
I wanted to show that tonight, but I ran out of time. Like this, the simplicity of the people who paid in crypto and actually just showing it. Like, okay, we had this treasury wallet, and now it's got this much money in it, and the people rocked up and they scanned the same as using your card and just doop, it was done.
Have you not borrowed money lately? I had to give my undie size.
Yes, ridiculous, eh?
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
Sarcastic on that one, but yeah, it was, are you kidding me? And that was years ago, wasn't like that.
Yeah, even I've been seeing things about people trying to take money out, and they have to give all this information to take 10 grand. Yeah, it's none of your business.
Sex change.
Yeah, none of your business.
Yeah.
Period.
It'd be cool if you had some, so if you're going to build up a treasury where it could be used for that purpose of onboarding people, where you have they set up a wallet and instantly you give them, it could be a couple of bucks or something like that. Just send them something so they go, oh, cool.
Yeah. So an intermediary, so XRP, for example, costs 4 cents.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
2 cents goes to the person who receives that money. It's a $2 a fee, 2% income.
Yeah.
0.2%.
There was something that popped up on my feed today. So this is about a stable coin. I think it might have been that one I was talking to you about. Yeah, they were going to back the stable coin with yield from the chain. So as the emissions come out of the chain,
Interesting.
Back it. So what I've just been working on with Vouch is something very similar where I've introduced a thing called capital pools where you stake your pulse, but there's so rather than get the full return of your pulse when it's staked, there's a split. So we can set the split of whatever the hell we like for that capital pool. And testing one, so it's 65%. So if you stake your pulse, 65% of the yield, but the other 35%, it's going to, in this case, it'll go back into Vouch and do stuff, but that could go off to anything. So it's basically, you could have participants that are willing to say, you know what, I'll put funds in here and I'll give up, even if it's 5% of the yield that I get, and it goes into a treasury for this sort of stuff, or that way no one's really impacted. It's just yield that they're giving up a small portion of their yield.
See, even what you highlighted there, there's like a vast range of ways to be able to generate yield and keep yield, some that fail and some that succeed. And it's almost like even now we're still in this exploratory phase in DeFi to see what's actually going to work in the long run. You know, what was it, Terra Luna? Well, this obviously didn't work. You know, there's things that have been tried which don't work. And so we're still in that phase of like learning. And again, just when you have AI and you put all this together and the AI is watching it and monitoring it and understanding and learning from it and putting the different pieces together, like it's an inevitability that it's gonna, you'll eventually hit that thing which creates some kind of a fluid system. We're going to round this up, boys, but just on the last one, help. So yeah, like anything that you feel that you could contribute if you wanted to, based on the kind of things that we've shared, like if you have skills and like don't feel guilty if you don't want to, there's no issue whatsoever. We'll just go around in a circle.
Well, certainly attending more of these sessions just to see how things go, but I don't have any skills.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd be the same. Attend more because we haven't sort of touched on anything that I can do tonight.
Sure.
Like something in the future might pop up.
Sure.
I do think that sort of going back to maybe the last step, that some of the biggest issues with, or to me, what I think is one of the bigger issues with adoption is when people hear about cryptocurrency, it's almost a mystery. And they hear about what blockchain is and they're like, well, what is blockchain? And when I try and describe it to friends, I try and say, if I transfer you money, we have a trust mechanism which we call the bank. I have my money in the bank, you have your account in the bank, and you may be with a different bank, but I'm sending my money in my bank to you, and the trust mechanism is the bank. If I do that to send money overseas, there's different banking standards and different trust mechanisms that sit in the middle. And I was like, if we get rid of the banks and we transfer it with cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency that you choose to do, that is the trust mechanism that we're replacing. There's no middlemen, it's just cryptocurrency. It's a very low fee. Faster. But like, I think when I sort of explain it to friends like that, it sort of demystifies the whole sort of mystery around blockchain. And that's the reason I got into it in the first place, was back in 2017, there was all this hype on Bitcoin, and I'd talk to people and go, like, how do you think it works? And so many people came up with these like explanations, and I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And then the more I learned about it, I'm like, that's all bullshit. Like,
yeah.
This is how, then this is how
You
I
just
think
like reduced it to
boil it
something that's
down to
understandable.
something simple.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, I mean, again, just to open your mind up, eventually if we start putting these things together, like you might be someone who goes, hey, I actually like doing that. And that's what we're looking for as well, people that that have a passion and want to fulfill that passion in this kind of a community. Like, I love doing graphic design, so I'm happy to help with your logos and whatever. Like any of you that you want to contribute to this community. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to help with the education and tutoring if needed, because I'm already doing that anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
It's good to have like a hub and like a non-profit.
It's a good place to come to if you're a tutor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. Andrew?
If you guys are planning to set up like the Telegram or the community group chat. If that doesn't already exist,
It exists.
yeah, happy to be another person in there to
All right.
just for general support, and then
Okay.
if people ask questions and stuff like that.
Okay, sweet. Yep. Jeremy?
Don't know, man. I don't think that a little bit more thought.
Become a political leader, we need one of them.
Yeah.
New PM.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to help in some way. I'm just trying to think where I'd add most value.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let me sit with it for a little bit.
Sure. I mean, for me, it's pretty clear that your knowledge base is probably almost one of the highest here. So you definitely have a lot of skills, a lot of value to offer. So
I was going to ask if you have a website or.
Yeah, actually, if anyone wants it, just as a nice thing for everyone tonight, if anyone, I'll tell everyone to go to my website, and if they use the little form to just send me a message, I'll give everyone a free access to my how you set up wallets, workflow, and all that.
yeah, beautiful. All right.
So if you want to let everyone know that, I can give you the address and everything.
That other thing you mentioned, Jeremy, like that standardized.
Yeah, so that's what that
onboarding.
is. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll give everyone a link to the course on there, and they can have at it.
Yeah, brilliant. Awesome. We'll announce that in the Telegram. Okay, awesome. Thanks, fellas. Can you think of anything else?
Maybe we should meet in Davos next time.
Yeah, that's it. Go shake hands with Larry Fink.
Take over.
What is it? Have you guys seen Anacapulco? Anacapulco?
What's that?
Have you guys seen that? What's his name? It's like an anarchy colony in Mexico, and this big Bitcoin guy.
I think I have seen him pop up occasionally.
I can't remember what his name was,
Yeah.
but it was like a 4-part documentary thing, really good. And anarchy, and they basically started as a conference where they're like, we just want to live free, and as what tends to happen in these things, humans end up corrupting things, and obviously Bitcoin is not
Oh, that's
in its totality a solution, and it ended up just basically kind of imploding. So they tried to create this new community and economy, and I watched it prior to this, and I was like, this is not going to be easy necessarily, but yeah, it's a very interesting thing to watch.
It's not Jeff Berwick, is it?
That's the one, Jeff
Yeah.
Berwick. That's it. That's him. Yeah. Anacapulco. I'll put the link in the Telegram as well. All right.
Back to us.
Sweet. Let's get back into it. All right, everybody. Let's make our way back out.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing that as well. Yeah.
So what's it do when you come in here? It just keeps.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Yeah, so I got the little microphone here that's doing the feed to it. So hi, Ted Sana, if you're watching. And hello, everybody else who's potentially watching or may watch in the future. It's been a bit tricky to attend to that, but I appreciate you being there. Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah, and feel free to grab more food as well and drinks. Nice. Good on you.
So we don't have a lot.
They were in here.
Yeah, we don't have a lot to contribute to the list, but I think hopefully we try to
No, nice. Yeah. Well, they came just to support, so that's nice. Opens their mind up.
You don't tell them enough about it.
They never asked me. Well, there we go. Now there's a. All right, so I've got an in now.
Yeah, don't ask me for a list of wants and needs because I think they didn't even know.
That's all right, no problem. Yeah, just share whatever you want to share. Hey, Matt, do you want to come to the stage now? Matt Wilson, want to come up to the stage? We'll do the We'll do the group thing now. So
On the couch.
Oh, I'm gonna
Ah.
take it out.
yeah, there we go. Or if you, yeah, that works as well.
Well, what do you think of the chairs?
This is fine. Yeah, yeah, just like this, pretty much. Have a chat, and hopefully, maybe if you can sort out another microphone in case there's. This one works. I think they just ended up turning off. So that one stopped working, but maybe
Battery?
maybe battery, or do you have to hold it maybe, or
I'll try the. No, I think I'll try the orange one.
no? This should be all right. Or does that mean it's probably?
Yeah, let's see how many bars this one's got. I don't think it's got any batteries.
I think this one just turned off because it went. It wasn't being used, so it just turned itself off. I'll keep it with me, and then when we do the yeah, so pretty much now we'll just share anything from the groups and. All right. Do you fellas will come and make our way back to the seats? Feel free to grab extra pizzas. Bring the box if you want. There's plenty there. All right. So now we're going to get to the last part of the event. So the group discussion and the AMA. So we're just going to share the things that we would have heard in the conversations, and we now want to also extend the microphone to you guys to see if you have any questions. So we'll kind of keep it brief here, just to kind of see if there's any patterns or any things that we really noticed across the board. So definitely in my group, the overall intelligence and awareness around cryptocurrency is very high, but the main concern is always that building this out is always going to have an overarching, it always now gets connected back to the system. So getting a card, for example. So one of the things with decentralized finance is KYC, which is know your client or know your customer. And one of the things with decentralized finance is the idea of sovereignty. We don't want people to know who we are. We don't feel that it's anybody's business, for example. But we have to go through those systems in order to get a card. So these kinds of blockages that exist now are some of the things that we are concerned about, and the things that we're really going to have to give a lot of thought to in the future. But really a lot of interest, and I think particularly with just seeing the simple things like businesses interacting with businesses by using cryptocurrency. So just very simple things. These were some of the standout things that I had. I'll hand over to you boys now. It's a bit tricky for me to...
All right. So I think the biggest takeaway that I got speaking to our group is that people want to be able to use DeFi and feel like it's safe, and that their money or their wealth isn't going to just evaporate into nothing.
Just a sec.
Second bucket.
And so I think creating tools for people to be able to do that safely will emerge from the latest technology that's coming out, incorporating artificial intelligence, and also gamification of the blockchain, where you can use a test net or something that's not directly linked to your dollars or wealth, just to play around in and practice on, so that you can use the technology exactly the same way, but it doesn't relate back to what how much money you've got in your bank account will just disappear accidentally, let's say.
That was pretty much.
It's always good being part of a panel without notice. But I really enjoyed
Sorry,
doing
man.
those breakout those breakout rooms. Thanks to everyone that was in that one. So there was two sessions. The first one was, why are we here? We have a personal connection at the moment. There's a friend or there's someone that we trust that's got us in here. And we can grow that. There could be 4 or 5 times the amount of people here, but pretty soon we run out of friends and workmates. So how do we then create enough trust to bring people in that we don't have a solid connection with? But a personal connection or a connection built on trust is important. We've been looking at stock markets for some time. We've been listening to different YouTube influencers. We've been gathering information and being educated, but it's a bit saturated now. So it could possibly be good to have this community where there's some truth there. There's some type of standard understanding. There's some people that can mentor and explain things. Be a two-way conversation rather than just being spoken at. And in the second session, a question that we floated around was, we have this map of Australia and we're all connected. We all own a coffee shop. Maybe I've got a card or something like that. It's like, oh, the coffee's $12. Okay, I'll use crypto to pay for that. But at the moment, I'm holding all my crypto because it's a 4-year low, right? So why would I spend $12 on a coffee? It's like selling some of my crypto. So what crypto would I spend? Is it something stable? Is it a stable coin? You know, and so we really did have some questions about, love that concept and idea, but what actually are we spending? And how reliably can I understand what's in my account when I go to buy service? And also, we heard the vision of Australian DeFi community. Maybe we need to see a bit more proof of concept. It's good to think, well, AI is going to fill some of these gaps. But it'd be great to see some case studies perhaps, and that will come. We can't do it until we've first of all initiated conversations. And what are our needs? Easy as possible access to it. Mentorship, mentioned again. And maybe some resources. So let's say this event costs $1,000. It's in the city and it's a big thing, right? But what if we live in Mandurah and I just want to get some mates together, not just mates, but mates of mates, and we want to start talking about DeFi community? Can we somehow get enough to buy a couple of beers and buy a couple of pizzas and get together, you know? So that's some of the needs where, if I gave you a one-page investment business, like a business plan, say, look, we're going to have this event, will you approve a grant? We get transferred some funds and we've got to prove that we did the event, give a report on the outcomes, take some photos, put it on the socials. You know, that's one of the needs. And then as far as the help, I think we all want to help with the skills that we already have. We don't want to have to spend another 2 years learning about more finance stuff. We want to be able to use some of our skills. So if we're a tradesperson or whatever, an accountant or someone that's not necessarily a finance person, how can I help? And we can help in all sorts of ways. We came up with some examples of, if it's helping in marketing, what if I've got a property on a busy road? I can put a sign on my fence, for example, you know. Has anyone got any thoughts on, particularly 2 things I said? One was, if I'm spending some money, is it a stable coin that I'm spending? That's the first one. And the second one is, would people go out into their community, do something like this at a smaller scale if they were given some resources to it? Would anyone like to give some feedback on that?
I haven't got much to say, but what came to mind when you were saying what do you spend? If you're worried about spending your crypto because it's at an all-time low, it's because that's an investment, and you wouldn't go to the coffee shop and buy a $12 coffee and take money out of your gold investment or your NAS 100 investment that you've got sat there. So I suppose the mindset around it, real off the top of my mind when you said it, was that you have your investments in crypto, but then you also have your spending money in crypto that will be in a stable coin, I suppose. And it won't be a mindset of that's investment, that's going to go up, that's speculative. It's not speculative asset. It's just to hold it there so you can then do your business in that realm and then start to participate in there. Because even me, I'm not participating in it, and until we start just participating in it and start making it our daily habit of transacting in that rather than transacting in TradFi and where we used to. If we don't just move it over and just start, it just won't happen. I suppose it's just moving it over, just seeing it as a stable coin, seeing it as $1 for $1, and then start to do it, and then things will just happen from there, and then you'll start to then your awareness is there, and then so once your awareness is there, things will come in, and it'll be like, okay, right, well, then that can be held, and you'll be making yield on it, and you'll be using it for this, and then someone else will give you another way of doing it, and it will just grow from there, I suppose. So that's just off the cuff.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks very much. And I was thinking, maybe we just spend our yield, right? We're not making yield, we don't spend. Anyone else? A thought?
I'll probably add a little bit to it. So one of the big things that came out of our group, which ties into what you just mentioned, is we need a wallet in everyone's hands. Until you have a wallet in everyone's hands.
I think they're all dying, unfortunately.
So until you have a wallet in everyone's hands, it's very hard to use anything we've got as a unit of account to transfer between people. So I think the low-hanging fruit is just get a wallet in someone's hands, send them a little bit of currency that they can see, that they can essentially set up their own bank account in 5 minutes, and they can transfer directly. And I think that's the light bulb moment for someone where they go, hey, I didn't have to sit at a bank and give them all my financial information. I'm instantly in this new banking world, which is DeFi. So I think that's very easy loading fruit. In terms of what we end up spending, we haven't cracked the nut on a great stablecoin yet that hasn't got centralized hooks into it. Maybe one day that will exist. A few people that might be interested.
Somebody say.
And maybe one day that will exist. But one of the other topics that we had a chat about was, I don't care what I've got in my wallet. I might be holding Ethereum, and you or a shopkeeper might want Bitcoin. Now, what they don't really want they want the value of the service they're offering. So if I come to you and you provide a service that is worth $100, you just want that value in your wallet. You don't care how it gets there. So if I could send Ethereum, but you have nominated you only want Bitcoin or USDC, well then somewhere interchanges on chain and you get what you want. As long as you get your $100 in value, you don't care too much about the process, how it happens. So I think we're getting there a little bit more these days with on-chain swaps and things like that. So that's definitely a lot more realistic. But it still comes back to it doesn't work unless you've got a wallet in your hand. I think that's the low-hanging fruit. You can get as many on board just with a small
Thank you very much. We're trying to source some other batteries at the moment. So.
All right, sweet. Yeah, and I think I'd just like to add something to that briefly.
Speak up, I think.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah, really just in answer to your question, Matt, about these 4-year cycles, it's the way that it is at the moment is the mindset around crypto is, again, that mindset of just getting rich. That's why we all come here. There's nothing wrong with that. But because everybody has that mindset, everything's been directed towards that. So currently, there is no sustainable system where the value circulates within a loop that can actually continue to generate value. It just goes in and then it comes back out. So I'm starting to see things on particular blockchains that are starting to create these loops, which is locking the value into the system. And so then I can very easily see an idea like this emerging where you can have yield being generated from within the system if people keep their value in it, with the mindset that I'm not just trying to compete against everybody else for the Lambo. I'm actually opting out of that system and I'm putting my money in this system as a bank account, and it's like a collectivized bank account, and that's protecting the capital. And then the different protocols within that generate the yield, the different different ways that they interact with each other. So it's like we're not quite there, but we're getting there. And I can see all these disconnected pieces that just need to get pulled together. So, yeah.
Do you think that's because at the moment you need to extract it out of the system to go back into traditional finance to be able to pay your bills and rents?
Yeah, that is why.
You've got to leave that ecosystem and put it in the real world.
Yeah.
Until everyone can have that wallet in their hand and it stays in that ecosystem, and you're not extracting it out of that network.
Yeah, and it needs to become more saturated so that we're not looking at ratios between one coin and another coin, like in US dollars or Australian dollars. But because most people are still in Australian or US dollars, there's a big difference between participants and participation. So once more people become part of the decentralized network and it becomes more saturated and stable, people won't look at the volatility as a barrier anymore. But at the moment it is.
Yeah, and obviously in a place like Australia, it's pretty good, right? But what about a place like Zimbabwe or Argentina, Venezuela, or these other countries where the currencies they're just getting demolished by inflation? It's like the equivalent. Oh, nice. It's the equivalent of the price differences in the cryptocurrencies is also apparent in the real world as well. We don't really experience that in Australia because we have a pretty strong dollar. But it's a global problem that creates global issues that end up impacting us. So then it manifests as, all the immigrants are coming to Australia. Well, they're coming to Australia because it's a better country with a better dollar and better opportunities. So again, if you can create a system that becomes fairer and equal to everyone, then everyone's just going to be content with where they are, and everything I think would be just more fluid and harmonious around the world. It would be like an atmosphere of utopia. That's how I see all of this, but many people think I'm crazy, so.
Crazy's good.
Crazy's good. Yes, I'm very crazy.
I think the couple of main themes that came up in our discussions were common to all the groups, and that was trust, number one. I think from Stephen actually to saying trust, and I think it's a very important concept that was mentioned by everybody. And I guess this obviously is helping to address that. And it's quite clear that education, I think, because talking about all of these kinds of things, but even just identifying the fact that a lot of people have they've heard of crypto, but it's not clear. What is it? Just the very basics. I think just spreading that awareness of what is crypto and why would we use it, So.
I got so Jeremy has offered he's got a website and he's offered to, we'll go over the details, I'll put it in the Telegram, but basically he's got a very fluid, easy onboarding way of downloading a wallet, getting onto the blockchain and connecting and seeing how easy it is. And he's created a very flawed system, which he sells on his website, but he's offering to give it to everyone here for free if we message him. So I'll end up putting those details in our Telegram so everyone can really start to get in tune with that idea. And so we got about 10, 20 minutes left. So is there anything that people feel like they have a question or that a concern or something that hasn't been covered or anything in particular? Seems like everyone's pretty good.
I've got some ideas to share with you later, maybe. Anyone, even that was in that group with me, want to expand on anything that I said? Thoughts, questions? You did
Ideas on expanding the community.
Please.
How do you reach the average Australian? Is it really motivated by money? Myself, I work in the medical industry, and Ethan here, he's a mechanic. We're both blokes that aren't really motivated by getting rich. I assume the I'm sorry, I'm not very good at speaking. How do you reach the larger audience within Australia to make them view this is not a get rich quick thing? So how do you reach the workers on the mines? How do you reach your blokes just trying to get by?
Yeah, I think I'd like to answer that one if I can. I'm sure you guys.
Or just paying the rent?
I think it's about lifestyle and freedom. So that's one of the things that we've obviously mentioned it, and it got mentioned in our group as well. What are your interests in it? And money comes up. But we're really trying to separate ourselves from that idea. We're trying to connect with the idea of a lifestyle. And so if a consequence of that lifestyle is more financial freedom and more general freedom and sovereignty, I just think just naturally people are going to gravitate to that. And the way that I see it as well, I don't think that this is going to be something where we're going to create this economic system and everyone's going to go, hell yeah, let's all get in there. There's going to be so many people that just don't care, and that's fine. But I believe they're going to eventually care in the future when that whole system collapses, because the trend is self-evident. The tools that they're using to continue to perpetuate it, it's leading in exactly the same direction that it has for the last 100 years. It's just going to continue to happen, but there's no awareness there's no ideas about how they're going to fix it from within there. So I just think it'll become self-evident, and we just have to continue to create the community with the people who are ready as like a little seed. And then when the time is right, people will just naturally gravitate over. That's just my opinion. That's how I kind of see it in my mind. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything on that.
I think word of mouth is the best solution to that. So it starts within your own circles, and then those circles just get larger and larger. And certainly my experience with growing businesses, that is what is key, is getting repeat customers, and then they tell their friends about it. And it's difficult at the moment with the volatility and so forth that's in this market. But over time, it will become more saturated as people are onboarded, and there'll be less and less volatility. And the clear winners of what coins you're going to spend or not spend will become apparent. There may be coins that are more connected to volatility and predictions and different assets, and then there will be others that are more fixed to grounded, more stable assets perhaps, and used for everyday transactions. But we really want to create a lifeboat for people to jump on board here and have a chance at financial freedom, not just freedom in the sense of a lot of money, but also freedom to transact when you'd like to. as just a basic human right. Yeah, so it's a difficult one at the moment in the growing stages to say that we're going to use this coin and that coin, but over time it will become obvious which one we'll be using. And it's going to be a good ride to be on and a good adventure. It's not an easy process to go through, but it's definitely going to be good in the long run for the whole globe, we hope, not just Australia.
Anyone else got any other questions?
Yeah, I don't think you quite answered how you're planning on getting this project.
Say again?
Yeah, just wondering more about what the actual plan is to get the exposure for yourselves for what you want to do here. Because yeah, it's good that you do this seminars, and it's good that he mentioned word of mouth. But obviously, you know, when we play Chinese whispers and pass it on to each other, it doesn't pass on as good as someone who came up with the idea, who is pushing it forward. And when you're talking about, you know, when starting with a small business like a coffee shop, you need to make sure everything around the coffee shop is on board, like the suppliers and the clients. And when you're talking about things like the failing economy system that we have, because crypto is still so new, it's pretty unlikely for this to happen and within our lifetime for the whole economy to collapse as we know it, right? So yeah, I'm just wondering what your actual plan is to expose yourself out there properly, how you're gonna get out there to reach out to everyone, as someone else mentioned before as well. So I'm just wondering if you have, like, you know, other ideas and what your steps are.
Sure. Yeah, so that's part of what we're doing here. So we're basically in the stage of connecting with the community, seeing who has what skills, and seeing what we have at our disposal in some ways. And then it will just be in the consistency of these events. And then it wasn't very clear. We don't really have a concrete plan yet, but things I mentioned earlier were going out to markets, for example, getting exposure in this way, creating a business. You mentioned, obviously, there's all these different suppliers and those kinds of things. I understand that they will be like a roadblock, but then the technologies are there to basically eliminate those issues. And so it's a good question. It's tricky, and that's something that's, please. And just before, that's something that somebody else was really critical about. This was like, okay, what's the plan? But the plan, I also believe, will unfold in front of us because it's the time. So when you say that you don't think the current economic system is going to collapse in our lifetime, I completely disagree. I think it's already basically over, but it's just being propped up by printed money. And so I think it's absolutely going to happen within our lifetime. So the steps they'll happen. And it's not about, oh, everybody in Australia is going to come into DeFi now in 10 years. I don't think it's going to be like that. It's going to be a very small percentage, and then something big will happen, and then the percentage will grow. But it'll just be with small, consistent efforts like this. It's probably not a very good, clear answer, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm not that type of minded, but Jimmy is.
So obviously we're in such an early stage that any sort of mass marketing or any sort of investment into radio or billboards or cars and race teams and things probably isn't appropriate just yet, but that is what we're going to do. We're just going to mirror what works for Hungry Jack's or McDonald's that makes them the most popular restaurants in the world. So it's that consistent marketing that will trigger people to question perhaps what they're doing and whether what the system they're in is working for them or against them. And there are certainly experts that are really good at that sort of engineering advertisement to impact the right people at the right time, and that's up for that professional to do. And they will certainly be employed once we have the appropriate timing and resources to do that. That's the grand plan for sure, and to have like a Formula One team, Australian DeFi Formula One team would be the ultimate goal, but we're not there quite yet, and certainly it has to start at a more local grassroots level to create that foundation that then those people then put effort in as well to then just exponentially grow. It can't be done by force as such, so we have to sort of move with the flow of the times. And right now it's clear that people out in the community are feeling something is off, something's not quite right with their finances. We don't feel as rich as we perhaps used to 5-10 years ago. Something's changed, and it's definitely prices at the supermarket. It's the most obvious thing. So, educating around finance is tricky because it's not really seen as an exciting kind of thing. But like Steve mentioned, that if people can see a certain lifestyle that other people are leading and living, then of course you get people that want to jump on board and follow along with that. And that's just the herd mentality. Yeah. Right now, everyone's against us, but eventually there'll be some sort of shift in time.
So I've always wanted to say on the stage, developers, developers, developers. But how much tech is needed to build this Australian DeFi community? How many people do we need with skills and developers, coders, whatever it is? And we're not talking about creating our own tokens, but how much tech's involved in this? And that attaches to that question on how can we help possibly as well. People that are good at marketing, implementation and development. Does anyone want to answer that?
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to tell you how much tech specifically. I don't have that kind of insight, but obviously it's going to be a lot. But I just wanted to, there's already people in the Brisbane community, for example, who are devs, who do have some coding experience. So again, that's gathering. So we're trying to find people who want to contribute. And so maybe out of this, there's 2 or 3 people that become like key people in this movement. It doesn't have to be everybody, but it's just about finding individuals and just slowly growing it out, and then just consistently just keep going around and traveling and finding people. But that's inevitable. But it basically opens my heart up at the fact that at our very first one, there was like 2 people who have those skills. So we're already seeing who has the skills within our growing team from just our very first gathering. So yeah, but as to the extent of the tech, it's going to be big.
And we don't have a picture of it here, but I do have a vision of a mascot around this as well, as the DeFi Joey. So it's like a little kangaroo with a pouch, and you can hand out QR coded heart-shaped cards that you walk around the markets and just give to people, and naturally create that image around this as DeFi Roo or DeFi Joey, and even have someone dress up in a kangaroo full-size suit hopping around. It's going to draw some attention, and it's a great opportunity for a selfie shot, and it's then going to social media from there. The heart-shaped balloons, which is another simple but effective method where you're giving something to someone that children absolutely love, balloons, and they end up floating around your house for weeks until they completely hit the floor, and even then it's hard to convince your child that it's rubbish. So there are these normal traditional ways of marketing, but at the moment, like today, this is where we're at right here and now, at the leading edge. You are at the leading edge right now. So it's great to have you a part of that, and I think it's special.
Just with like marketing wise, like if you're going to go digital marketing, just to begin with, you look at e-commerce, and in e-commerce, the way they do things is you look for a kettle, and you type in kettle, like best kettle, and then you're going to get on Google or Facebook's going to pop up with top 5 best kettles, and all of them going to have links because the person makes the money from that. That's not touched in other aspects. That's a multi-billion-dollar company, kind of a business. And in service providing and in crypto and all these type of things, this isn't even touched. So to do that in crypto, like no one else is going to be doing it. So you can create these advertorials out there on Google, on Facebook, that gives you value, because it's all about value. And these things, it's a really cheap way of doing it. And then that will get in front of people that are looking for that type of thing. It'll get in front of people that are into that on Facebook. And there's ways to do that marketing where it pays for itself as well. So there's lots of different ways. Like it's all about like, I'm here, and so I can help with that. No doubt when you go around the country, there's going to be people that are even better than me at marketing, and they're going to help you. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Alex. That's case in point. And I think we'll round it up now, but that's exactly it. So in the end, it's all about the community. It's all about the people. And that's something where I know I don't necessarily have all the skills to do all of this. And I'm not proclaiming to be someone that does, but I do believe that we're in that season, we're in that time where the world has to go. There's a fork in the road, and we continue to go down that road, and we're just going to get the same outcomes, or we can say, hang on a minute, there's a nice little pathway that's going over that way. Why don't we go and explore that? And then whoever wants to come along can come along. That's how I feel about it. So basically, to summarize, it's you, it's us, it's a community. That's really what it's all about. Where if you're interested, if it's sparked something in your heart, then come with us. Just contribute in whatever way that you want to. And already, just from the very small amounts of interactions that I've had with Jimmy, like I've only just known him for less than a year, and already the things which are unfolding before our eyes, like I don't want to get too spiritual, but from a metaphysical perspective, when you put your mind to something, even on a material level, when you put your mind on something, you can make it happen. But then when you put your mind on something and then just things start happening that are like, what the hell is this? Just all these things start lining up. You know that you're on the right path. You know you're on the right path. And so that's definitely how I feel. But it's not something that I can say, hey, this is definitely the truth, because unless you experience it, then you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. You probably think I'm crazy. But we know from our very small amount of time, things are already starting to happen, and we're in the right direction. So DeFi is our silent protest against over-centralization and inflation, where we vote with our economic energy for a fairer system for us all. So I really want to thank everyone for coming today. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm really grateful that everybody came. I'm thanking, yes?
What would you like us all to do when we leave here?
Well, we'll go to the pub for a start. But yeah, that was probably one part that I missed on the organizational aspect of it. But for anyone who wants to really get more involved, if I've got your numbers, obviously, but I send a message out to everyone today. So you can send me a message if you're interested. And we have a Telegram group. So I'll send out a link to the Telegram group to everyone, so you can join it if you want to. And that's basically the hub of our communication. We have a website. We have a Telegram group. So right now, we'll basically collect this data. I'll see who's interested in what, and I'll add it to the spreadsheet that we've started creating. And yeah, you just contribute as much as you want according to your own passions. And really the ideal thing is, if you have something that you really love doing, it should be, you'll just naturally want to do it. And if it can be expressed in a place like this where it grows into something, then you'll just naturally want to do it. So does that answer your question, Matt? Yeah, so thanks everybody who also helped. Thanks everybody for coming. Obviously now it's pretty much 8 o'clock. So it's literally just across the road. And if there's a couple of, or more than a couple. If there's anyone who wants to stick around and give some feedback so we can do that with the microphone, I'd really appreciate that. Do that up here. So if anyone wants to volunteer for that, then
One last question.
yeah.
When $1.
let's not go there. Let's not go there. I got to show you my sticker. Yeah. Throw that in there. No, good on you, Alex. Lovely. Thanks, everyone. And a round of applause for yourselves, because obviously a lot of listening and contributing. We'll do it up here. Like, who's keen to do it? Obviously, not everyone's going to be keen, but if there's maybe like a handful. Alex, you look like you're keen. Yeah, please.
So what's generally going to be your question?
I haven't even thought about that.
Have you got any feedback about tonight's event?
Yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah, but I'll just, whoever wants to come, please. See that, mate?
Well, if you want to put something behind it.
Yeah, I'll put the Yeah, no worries. No worries. Good on you, Mike. No worries. Thanks for coming. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I can give that to you. Yeah. I'll get my... You won't need this one anymore. Yeah. Okay. That's...
I was going to film it like this, so social media friendly.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted me to do it like
No, do which way you think. Yeah, perfect.
what platform are you going to use it for?
I would probably use it for, social media. So side view's perfect. Where's my laptop? Oh, it's over there. I can finish the stream now. Thanks everybody who watched. Oh, look at all those comments. Oh, thanks everyone.